It started with smoke. Thick, black, angry smoke curling into the night sky above a Tesla dealership in Seattle. By the time first responders arrived, 2 cars were already burned to the frame. No messages, no slogans, just silence and scorched metal. The media called it isolated, a fluke, an outburst. But the flyers told a different story. From Berlin to Boston, they were plastered on lampposts and pinned across activist message boards. Global Tesla takedown, June 1st. No justice, no tech. And just like that, a so-called day of action became something darker. In Washington, reporters were scrambling. Who's organizing this? Is it about labor rights? Climate? Billionaires? No one could pin it down, and that's what made it dangerous. Because in chaos, violence always finds oxygen. Then Elon Musk spoke. But he didn't rage. He didn't tweet in all caps. He just sat in front of a mic and delivered 6 words that flipped the narrative upside down. The problem isn't the arsonist. A pause. It's the people who taught him how. The room went still. And for the first time, this wasn't about car batteries or charging stations. It was about something deeper, something colder. A machine of messaging, of propaganda, of narratives crafted not to protest, but to provoke. And Musk wasn't backing down. They're not activists, he said. They're arsonists with publicists. That same night, White House officials were cornered on Capitol Hill, asked to condemn the attacks most ducked. One mumbled about public sentiment, another flat out said, no comment. But silence is never neutral. And in that silence, the story shifted. This wasn't about Elon Musk anymore. This was about who gets protected. When the fires start burning. By morning, the fires had names. Seattle, Amsterdam, Montreal. Not spontaneous, not random, coordinated. Across continents, Tesla showrooms were hit, service centers defaced, cars torched or vandalized under the same banner, had shut down Tesla. But the headlines? They didn't match the damage. Most outlets called it tech backlash. Others called it climate frustration. One even called it activism reimagined. Elon Musk called it what it was. Terror branding itself as justice, he said during a live interview, and the ones cheering it on won't light the match themselves, but they'll write the slogans for the people who do. The clip went viral. And that's when the backlash to the backlash began. On Capitol Hill, Republican lawmakers demanded action. They wanted names, groups, funding sources, a formal investigation into what they called ideologically fueled sabotage of American infrastructure. But Democrats split down the middle. Some called the violence unacceptable, then quickly pivoted to unrelated issues. Others stayed silent altogether. And a few went further, arguing that the focus on Musk was distracting from real oppression. It didn't help that one progressive congresswoman, already known for her social media theatrics, posted a now-deleted tweet that read, "Sometimes pressure needs sparks." That was all it took. Fox ran with it. Talk radio lit up. Online sleuths dug into campaign donations, PAC affiliations, group memberships. One link after another started connecting dots between radical protest groups and political operatives. But while the right demanded answers, the left tried to change the channel. CNN aired a segment on the ethics of AI regulation. MSNBC brought on a panel to discuss toxic masculinity in tech culture. Meanwhile, Tesla workers swept up shattered glass in 3 different time zones. Musk, unfazed, posted a single image that afternoon. A burned Tesla in silhouette with the caption, "Still standing, still building." And then came the real blow. A leaked Homeland Security memo. Classified, confidential. But someone dropped it anyway. The subject line? Rising threat from coordinated anti-tech extremism. The document outlined a disturbing pattern. Fringe groups targeting infrastructure, not for protest, but for chaos. Tesla, it said, was just the first domino. And suddenly, it wasn't about Musk's personality. It wasn't about labor unions or carbon emissions or billionaires. It was about something far more uncomfortable. What happens when violence is tolerated, because the target is unpopular? They called it Global Tesla Takedown Day. But by sunset, the only thing taken down was the illusion that this was about protest. The final tally? 6 cities, dozens of arrests, 3 firebombs, 1 injured employee in Milan, and a wave of fear rippling through every EV dealership across the US. At 8 p.m., Elon Musk went live, not at a press conference, not on a stage, just a quiet stream in his office. No teleprompter, no advisors, just him and a single sentence to start. You don't get to burn things and call it progress. He didn't name politicians, he didn't throw punches, he didn't need to, because the silence from his opponents was already louder than any speech. The problem, Musk continued, isn't that people are angry. Anger is part of democracy. The problem is that some leaders are okay with violence as long as it hits the right target. And right now, that target is me. His tone was measured, almost calm, but his message hit like a hammer. Within minutes, it was clipped and shared across every platform. YouTube flooded. Twitter trends spiked. And the media? They hesitated. This time, the playbook didn't work. No spin, no euphemism could explain away the firebombs or the shattered glass. Not when the man under attack was sitting calmly in front of a camera, refusing to flinch. Inside the White House, a crisis memo was already circulating. It urged Democratic surrogates to condemn violence without validating the Musk narrative. But it was too late. Even moderate voters were asking the real question. If this had happened at a solar plant or a black-owned business, would the outrage be louder? That question echoed louder than any hashtag. By the end of the night, 5 progressive lawmakers had deleted old tweets calling Musk dangerous, a threat, and in one case, a billionaire colonizer. 3 of them put out new statements. Generic, weak, too late. And across the country, voters weren't watching the spin. They were watching the footage, the flames, the silence, because in the end, this wasn't about Tesla, or Elon Musk, or even politics. It was about a moral line, and how quickly some were willing to cross it, as long as the fire was pointed in the right direction.